I thought I'd share with you a story about a student that I had many, many years ago. And if I'm being honest, he was a very, very tough kid. He came to our school mid-year because he was homeless. And he had just been, given the basics, a backpack, he had some supplies. But I'll tell you, when he walked into my room, he had an air about him that he just didn't care. Hey friends, welcome to Enjoy Teaching Again, the podcast for teachers who love the work but need a little spark to bring the joy back. I'm your host, Elizabeth Peterson, classroom teacher, arts integration specialist, and passionate educator of over 25 years. If you're overwhelmed by behaviors, disengaged students, and long, exhausting days, you are not alone. But together, we can turn things around and you can teach with confidence and purpose again. So locate that cold coffee of yours, find your favorite pen, I know you have one, and let's dive in. It's time to get inspired and enjoy teaching again. I know what it feels like to lie awake at night thinking about that one student you can't quite reach. You start to question yourself. You wonder if you're doing enough. You wonder if you're caring too much. And still, when you go back into that classroom, you're not sure if that student or your entire class is even going to receive what you're trying to teach them that day. It's a lot. It's a lot. And the fear of burnout is real. The thought of, can I really keep doing this? That's real. And I want you to hear this. You're not the problem. You know how to be a good teacher. And you certainly don't need someone telling you what to do. You really don't need a new program to implement, and you certainly don't need a new initiative. What you need is a reset. There is a way to teach that feels calm and creative and connected to who you are as a teacher. There's a way to get back to that feeling that you had when you first started teaching, that feeling of hope and excitement and smiles and getting really excited to go in and set up your classroom for the day. I know because I'm there again. I know because I've helped teachers get there again. And listen, you don't have to piece this all together by yourself. Let me help you. If something inside of you is whispering, yeah, I think I might need this, listen to it. Go to theinspiredclassroom.com/reset. Check it out and see if this is something that you think might help you. We're going to work together to reset your classroom and protect your love for teaching. So this boy was a 7th grader, and he came to my school when I was teaching middle school music. And when he came into the school, word on the street was that this kid just didn't care about things. He was disengaged. When he came into my room, he just kind of shut down. He slouched in his chair. He had that look on his face that he was just not going to give two you-know-whats about anything that I had to say. He was resistant. He didn't participate. And no matter what I tried, nothing really got through to him. And I feel like that's part of what is so hard as a teacher, because you want to reach these kids, but it starts to feel like, okay, maybe I just can't with him. Maybe this is one of those kids that you just can't reach. Have you ever had a student like that? They're just so tough. They're just so hard to crack that you think, all right, well, maybe I'm just not the right teacher for him. And you kind of give up for a moment. But then one day I got this opportunity, and this may sound like a strange opportunity, but one of the guidance counselors that I was friends with was talking to me about him. And I was, telling her how, I was just having some difficulty with him in my classroom. And she said that she actually had something that she needed to give him and asked if I wanted to give it to him. And believe it or not, it was just a pack of socks. And honestly, I jumped at the opportunity because I thought, all right, well, if this is something that I can do for this kid, maybe that will be my little little way to crack the ice with him. So she actually asked me, do you know how to do this? And I go, well, no, I don't know how to exactly give socks to a 7th grader. And so she said, just say, you bought some extra for your husband and it's the wrong size and you wanted to know if he would like them. So I said, all right, I can do that. And so I did. I found an opportunity where I could just kind of nonchalantly go over to him and I said, hey, listen, this is going to sound a little weird, but I have these socks that I was going to go return after school because they were the wrong size for my husband. Could you actually use these? And he looked at me and he actually smiled and he said, yeah, sure. And he took the socks. And that was that one moment of connection that worked with him. Now that seems to me actually a little extreme. Like we're not going to be giving socks to all of our students that need that little bit of connection for us to help them with their behaviors and stuff. But it is an example. And I bring it up today because I think that there are so many varied ways that we can connect with students. And if there's a student that's really tugging on your heartstrings, there's a way to break the ice and really get through to them. And it's just your job to try and find it. That one fell in my lap, which was really kind of nice. And then what happened from there? Well, he and I were kind of buddies at that point, Later on in the school year, I was able to give him a hooded sweatshirt because he was wearing the same one every single day. And so I was able to be the liaison, the person to kind of give that to him later on in the school year, which was really nice. And we talked about music and he shared some of his favorite bands with me. And I made sure I listened to them so that I could report back on what my thoughts were about them. And it just became nice. And honestly, he didn't even finish off the school year that year. And I have no idea what has happened to him since, but that's just another thing with teaching. You just never know how you're going to hopefully affect students' lives. And what I realized later was that it wasn't that he didn't care, it was that he had nothing to connect to. Because after that, he did pay attention in my classroom. He did go out of his way to kind of like wave to me as he walked by the classroom. And that little bit of connection, man, that meant everything. And I think a lot about stories like that when, teachers say that, my students don't care. Because sometimes there's just so much more going on underneath than what we can actually see. So if you have a student like this, don't write them off. Because when we can make a connection with them, man, everything can start to shift. So I want to encourage you. Who's that one kid who has just been driving you crazy? Take that on as a challenge. Take that on as a challenge and see if you can crack the ice with them. I hope this episode inspired you, encouraged you, or gave you a fresh idea to try. And if so, I would love for you to take a screenshot and text it to one of your teaching buddies. I'm so grateful that you landed here with me today, and it would mean the world to me if you would leave me a review over on Apple Podcast. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll catch you on the next episode. This is Elizabeth Peterson reminding you to get inspired so you can be inspiring to your students and enjoy teaching again.